Good afternoon, friends. Welcome to Tuesday at 3:30 and our very first non-practice run of Ask a Trainer. I'm just going to give it a few seconds. My coworker should be hopping on in a second. The notification has to go out. So welcome. Hello. Welcome. So we're just waiting for Chris to jump on. So it should be in a second or two, hopefully. If not, it's technical issue Tuesday, which is great. Okay, so I see him. There he is. Give me 1 second. Looking over my camera, that would be awesome today. That would just be the highlight of Tuesday here. All right, so I think Chris is... Hi, Chris. How's it going?
I'm good, Kim. How are you?
Good, thanks. So welcome. We are doing our very first Ask a Trainer Live non-practice round, and we are back doing it again. Woohoo! So everyone's kind of jumping on. So as you're coming in, my name's Kim, and I'm the fitness coordinator for Seneca at York. And I'm joined by
Chris Sousa, fitness officer at King Campus.
All right, and so today we had a question come in. Well, a question that we're asked a lot in the fitness centers, especially this time of year. If we were open, this would be one of the top questions we would get from the students. So we thought we would chat about it and maybe help solve some issues that you guys have at home.
Yeah. I think every campus, whether it's in September or January, there's always the big question, like kind of where do you begin? Where do I start? It is very intimidating, especially if you're brand new to the school, brand new to the gym. It's a big question to tackle. From my side, anyways, I find simpler the better. You don't want to, fitness is kind of all encompassing. It's not just coming to the gym. It's kind of your nutrition, your sleep as well, and then your well-being. So there's a lot to tackle. My favorite strategy is kind of pick one of those things each week to work on. Otherwise, it's a lot to do at once, and make little changes, because obviously, small changes compound into huge changes by the end of each day, each week, each year. So definitely, I would suggest tackling one of those areas, whether it's trying to get a bit more sleep, whether it's trying to eat better, or whether it's being more active. Just try to do one thing at a time. And obviously for your mental wellness, mental health, checking up on your relationships with coworkers and friends and family. That's really important. And same thing, like you don't want to have to tackle that. There's so many different facets of mental health and wellness, and you want to take it little by little. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Oftentimes you want to make a big, huge difference in all those different plates as you're spinning all of them. But as you know, if you chase two rabbits, you're going to go home hungry, right? If you're not a vegetarian or you have to make sure that you're kind of doing it slowly, consistently, and don't get overwhelmed by it. So tackle one of those things. Once you kind of feel like you're confident in it and that habit's been created, then you can go on to the next one. For me, I think if you're looking at all those things, the two big important pieces are usually your mental health. So and that's probably one of the most important pieces too, is to get that in check. And when I say in check, I mean, you can't really master it. That's never going to happen, but just kind of be aware of where your mental health is and when you need to slow down. But nutrition and sleep, I usually say to tackle those first, because they're almost like a domino effect with the rest of the things in your life. So if your nutrition and your sleep are in check, usually you'll be able to get to the gym. You might have more time now because you're going to bed earlier. You can wake up, earlier in the morning to get to the gym, but you're also going to feel like you want to be there because you're eating healthier. So if you're stuck on which one you want to improve first, it's not very often where I say, come to the gym and worry about that first, because that's one that doesn't really affect how you're eating, how you're sleeping. I think how you sleep, and how you're feeding yourself and fueling yourself, that's going to have more an effect on the other aspects of fitness and wellness. So that's kind of my take on it. And it depends on the person too, right? Some people might have that mastered already, so they can move on to that next stage. But definitely keep it simple. Don't make big drastic changes at once, because the faster you change things, the faster you're gonna get out of that habit. It takes a lot of focus to create those habits. They don't just change overnight. It's the little decisions you're making each day that lead to big habit change. That's my take on that.
That's a very good take.
What about you, Cam? Like if someone comes up to you, usually at this time of year, usually, right?
Yeah.
What's usually your advice?
My advice is they usually have one big overall goal. And mine is break it down into smaller goals. So the first thing is making it scheduled. So when are you coming to the gym? Everyone is gung-ho that I'm going to be there every day. I'm going to be there for 3 hours. I am not going to stop until I reach that goal. And you kind of say you have to take a step back because it's not happening. If you're just starting out, or even now, if you're just coming back to fitness because we have been off for a while, you're not going to be at the same fitness level as everyone else. And you're going to have some trouble getting started. And if you go gung-ho right off the start, that's when you're going to get injured, you're going to get tired, you might not be interested in fitness at the end of the week because it's like, no, this thing is evil. And then the other thing I tell them is not everyone's going to be the same. We are all very different people. Our bodies are different as well. What works for your friend might not work for you. So if your friend likes to run on the treadmill, you may not like running on the treadmill. Personally, I hate treadmills. I like to be outside, running on the roads. So if my friend said, hey, let's go to the gym and run it out, I'd be like, no, that's not going to work for me.
I think that's huge. Yeah, picking something that you're going to actually do, right?
Yeah, that you're going to
into something you enjoy.
Yeah, and the question that is always there, but there's so much to pick from as well. And I'm like, pick one thing and try it. Fitness, you're meant to fail, because that's how you learn and that's how you grow from it. So if you decide that you want to pick up running and then you realize maybe after a week or two running's not for you, fine. You know what? It's not for you. You learn something from it, and now you can build on that and try something new. So we are meant to fail in a lot of things in life. Fitness is one of them. Like I said, you learn from it. Your body grows. You learn what you like and what you don't like. And then, like personally, when like years ago, I got into group fitness. My friends wanted to do fitness classes. I hated taking fitness classes. It's funny because I teach them. But, you know, I can't stand there and have someone bark at me for 45 minutes to go faster, go whatever. I do more of my own individual thing. My friend loves fitness classes, loves going to them, will not give them up, will not try anything individually. That's her preference, right? So I think that you need to keep that in, like take that into account as well when you're coming into fitness. Find something you're going to enjoy. And then once you enjoy it, maybe you can try adding other things onto it, because your body is going to get used to certain things after a while. You do need to change it up. And maybe you might go back to running because, hey, you did feel good. You saw some results in that week. Maybe you just needed to try something else first, and then you can go back and try it again.
Right. No, that's a good point. I think some people get burnt out by what they're doing, right? What they're currently doing. They might be doing a body pump class now, but 6 months from now or a year from now, they might not enjoy it as much, right? So I think that's a good point. A lot of people, they have that very rigid, fitness, they're like almost like a typecast, right? Like they feel like that's what they're going to be doing for the rest of their life for physical activity. But it is really a great idea to try new things, because you don't get stuck in that tribe, right? And I think that's a really good point. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
You never know what you're going to like too, right? So my question that I have coming from all this is, so you have someone who for the past 6 months hasn't been able to get into the gym, was at that point where, they were doing regular workouts, they were lifting weights and all that. They want to get back into it. How would you advise people to get back into fitness safely?
It's a great question. I think a lot of people, it's on their mind right now too, is obviously most gyms, there's still some gyms that aren't open yet, but most gyms are open. I would say slowly and cautiously. Some of your muscles are going to atrophy. You're not going to be as coordinated as you were. The good news is that comes back pretty quick thanks to muscle memory. You'll feel like the first couple sessions are very hard and they kind of feel foreign, but you rapidly increase from there. Obviously, like I said, thanks to muscle memory and your body will adapt pretty quick, but it will be a slow, like the first couple sessions, you're not going to be where you were when you left off 6 months ago, right? Especially if you were doing anything like weight training, anything where you're like if you're playing a sport or it takes coordination, if you're doing dance classes or anything like that, yeah, it'll take some time to get back to. So I would say reintroduce it slowly as far as intensity, but also frequency as well. Like if you were squatting twice a week, even once a week before the pandemic, and you want to go back to weight training, any weight training, doesn't have to be squatting, it could be anything. You're going to be very sore, for sure, very sore, and you haven't been using those muscles in the same way, right? Like a single leg squat or a body weight squat is totally different than a barbell squat, or push-ups are very different from the bench press. So it will take some time, but your body will progress pretty quick. You'll be kind of shocked how fast you get back to where you were, but the first session's very cautious. There's probably a lot of people getting injured right now, right? I don't blame them. You're probably very you want to get going. You're very motivated to get back to where you're at, but just keep that in mind. You don't want to get discouraged either. I know there was a time, there was probably 2 or 3 weeks where I hardly did any training. So I went back and my first day was on Monday and I didn't train again until Saturday because I was that sore. Okay. So it happens, and it's just make sure you're not pushing yourself too hard, because what's better, going back, pushing hard, getting to where you were at in 2 weeks with the risk of being injured and then having another 6 months off, or slowly progressing and getting back there within 3 to 4 weeks, right?
Yeah.
So I would say take it easy for sure, slowly.
Yeah, and it's very important to listen to your body too. If you're hurting, don't push it.
Yeah.
Or you are going to be injured and you're going to lose everything that you've just worked for. So yeah, exactly. Be very cautious of that as well.
Yeah, for sure. And then obviously your diet's probably a lot different when you're not training. So if you're strength training or bodybuilding, you're going to want to most likely eat a bit differently than you were when you weren't working out. So probably a bit more calories to recover from those sessions as well, especially if your frequency is being bumped up. You want to have a lot more to eat. So just keep that, and then hydrating yourself as well, right? I've been really bad for that in the last couple of weeks. Is I'll look up and I'm like, I haven't had any water, since my coffee in the morning, which is horrible, right? So, and when you add exercise on top of that, you want to make sure when you're reintroducing more activity, you're drinking more to replace those fluids that you're losing during your training sessions.
Yeah. So, especially if the heat's coming on in your house as well, that's going to dehydrate you even more. So make sure while you're sitting there, if you are doing online classes, you are sipping water. To keep yourself hydrated as well. That way you're ready to go for that workout afterwards or before, whatever you prefer. And you're not going to get injured or dehydrated.
Yep.
Cool.
One of the tricks that I've been trying to implement, setting a reminder on my phone, that's how bad it is sometimes, is that I need a reminder on my phone to remind me to get up and drink water. But also I have like the, I think they're called flavored, all companies have different brands, different names, but you can just drop it's a flavor drop you can put in your water. If you don't like the taste of water, you can do that too. But it's something that I'm working on for sure. I don't know what happened, but the last 3 weeks is just my water intake went way down. But it happens. The fridge I'm literally 5 feet away from the fridge right now.
I think it's a change in the weather because I've been pretty bad as well. It's not hot and humid anymore. It's got that cool tinge in the air, and I'm like, I don't need to drink anything. And I'm like, no, I do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, for sure.
Yeah. Cool. So does anyone have any questions for us? We forgot to mention, feel free to answer questions or
Yeah,
ask questions, and we'll try to answer for
you
you.
can ask them as you go, or you can message us. But that's kind of what the Ask the Trainer Tuesday's for. If you have any questions, you can ask during the segment, or you can ask ahead of time. We prefer them ahead of time. That way we know kind of what the questions are going to be. And we have different people on staff that have different expertise and different interests. And like we were touching on before, fitness is very vast. It's kind of all encompassing and different areas to it. So if you do have like a very specific question, send that to us ahead of time. We'll get one of our fitness instructors and personal trainers to answer them. Cool.
Okay, so we will be back next week at 3:30. It'll be you and Mike, and you guys are discussing. Do you remember from the?
We talked about a lot of different topics. So I honestly don't know what next week was.
Is it muscle mass? Is that next week? Oh my gosh! Yeah, muscle mass.
Gaining muscle mass, hypertrophy, probably along those lines. Yeah. Sounds about right.
Hopefully we'll have it posted at some point, what the topic would be.
It doesn't have to always be on that topic, but that next week we'll focus on hypertrophy, strength training, and muscle building. So if you have any questions pertaining to those, whether it's training principles, techniques, or nutrition, shoot us a message for sure.
You send me the link for weight training class today. Yeah, yes, it'll be on the website, Diane. Sorry, the question just came in. It'll be on the website underneath the class. But yeah, as soon as I jump off this, I will forward you the link. Another one for weight training for women. Woo.
Awesome. It's a big class. That's good. No, it's good to see.
All right. Okay, sorry. There's a question. Yay, we got a question. All right, so I think that is everything from us today. Thank you for tuning in. We really, really appreciate it. It actually was a lot of fun, Chris. Thanks.
I enjoyed it. Anytime I can talk about training, I'm happy. It's my time.
It's nice to have the face-to-face time too, instead of through email, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for another live. Someone will be doing a program promotion. And then we'll be back at 3:30 tomorrow for Wellness Wednesday. I'm doing that one. Oh my goodness, you guys are going to be so sick of me by the end of the week. We're going to be making decongestant pucks for the shower, which is perfect for allergy and cold season right now. So I'll walk you through that, and we will get everything going. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Chris, for joining in.
Awesome.
Greatly appreciate it. We hope you learned a lot today. And yeah.
Enjoy the weather. Get outside. Be active. Be well. Take care.
Take care, guys. Bye.